Okay, now we can move into the next part of the lecture, which is automated manufacturing system. So for us to justify automation in the factory and the manufacturing support system, we must have some kind of strategy and eventually implement it through some kind of migration strategy to be able to put automation in place. Imposing automation in production system involve two things: production and computerizing the manufacturing system. So this is the first automated element of the production system. When we talk about automated manufacturing system, we actually focus on the factory that manufacture a physical product. So the process involved are typically processing, assembly, inspection, and material handling. And we basically call that automated because it operates with lesser level of human participation. An example such as car manufacturers, in which part of it is guided by a human worker, but a lot of material handling, as well as, for example, spraying and painting, is done by a robot. In this part of automated manufacturing system, we will take a look into what makes an automated manufacturing system itself. Okay, so we're going to take a look at types of automated manufacturing system, and as we talk about that, we will basically look further into what makes an automated system automated. So we will take a look at the elements, and then the automated system itself can be very basic, and the advanced the advanced automation functions can also be put into the automation processes, and we will take a look into that, as well as the level of automation that can be achieved in the manufacturing. So the automated manufacturing system basically can be divided into three types according to different production volume. We call that fixed automation, programmable automation, and flexible automation. Now, fixed automation basically is a system which sequence of processing or assembly operations is fixed by equipment configuration. So operation itself is usually simple, okay, perhaps a plain linear or rotational motion, or uncomplicated combination of the two, okay, such as feeding of a rotating spindle. So integration and coordination of many such operations into one piece of equipment makes the system complex. Okay. So typical features of fixed automations are high initial investment for custom engineered equipment, high production rates, so you can produce in very large quantities, and relative inflexibility to accommodate product variety. So fixed automation typically is when you have a very high demand of a specific product. There's not much customization can be done with your current layout, but what you can do with that automation is very high production rates or very large quantities. The economic justification for fixed automation, well, basically is on the product that have a very high demand. Those making the unit cost basically attractive compared with the other methods of production. So typical examples is the automated assembly lines, or automated assembly machines. Okay, the second type is a programmable automation. So this is typically used in low and medium volume production, in which production equipment is designed for any changes of product configuration. So this is some kind of customization can be done with this types of automation. Okay, the operation sequence is controlled by a program. So there's a set of instructions coded so that they can be read and interpreted by the system. Okay, so in general, it is very important for the factory to have a programmable automation if they have some kind of customization to their product, to the layout of the product. So basically, in general purpose equipment, this would be a high investment at the beginning of the creating the layout. So it has a lower production rates. Obviously, this is for low and medium volume production, particularly because part of that is programmable, so it can change, or the timeline for the processes can change depending on the customization. And the good thing is it has flexibility to deal with variation and changes, obviously, in product configuration. So if you want to change something, it is possible because you have some kind of general purpose equipment to actually do that. And it is also high suitability for batch production, which we will see later on what it means by a batch production. The last type is the flexible automation. So this is the highest level of automation, or basically the extension of programmable automation. So it is capable of producing a variety of parts with virtually no time loss for changeovers from one part style to the next. So this is a higher level of customization. There is no lost production time while reprogramming the system and altering the physical setup. Okay, so what it means by altering the physical setup, sometimes we need to change the tool, the machine settings, the fixtures and everything. So we have all that changes or possible changes in place, so there is no lost production time. So the system itself can also produce various mixes and schedules of parts or products instead of requiring that they be made in batches. The typical features of flexible automations is a very high investment for a custom engineered system, and you can have a continuous production of variable mixtures of products, but the production rates are medium. And if you have changes in product design, it has the flexibility to cater that. What makes it different is that the part process, the different parts of the machine, or the different products that are processed by the system have differences that are not significant. Okay, so the amount of changeover between tools and everything, or between the styles, is minimal. So that's why it can be done with flexible automation. Okay, so if we look at the product variety versus the product quantity, and you see the higher the product variety, you would want to look into programmable automation. And we can see here that with high product variety, you cannot really have a large production quantity. So you for high volume production, you will always be stuck with fixed automation, and that's why custom made tooling and everything must be or directly thought of, and must be directly thought of in the strategies for automation and process improvement. But if you have a medium and low volume production, you always have kind of interchangeable types of automation between programmable and flexible automation. Okay, so this is how the automation is actually in place depending on the variety and product quantity.